Hey everybody, I'm back. I'm Samantha and I'm a therapist, and I'm creating a video every day for a year to get over my fear of public speaking and social anxiety. And this is video 177 of 365. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you guys so much. I kind of wanted to touch on, the same things we always touch on, which is, are you going to go all in on yourself, or are you going to choose to stay the same? And you might hear some cats in the background. I had to choose to go all in on myself, and I'm still making choices every day to do that. And like tonight, for instance, I'm a little tired, and I was like, man, I kind of don't want to do a video. It's not that I don't want to do it, it's just that I'd rather kind of lay in bed and like just chill out. But I was like, no, I got to do my video tonight, 177. And sometimes you just have to be a different person. You have to make new choices. You have to choose. Am I going to stay the same, or am I going to be different today? And you're worth everything. You're worth choosing more for yourself. And you're worth changing your thoughts about yourself. And I had to start telling myself over the last couple of years, it's like, am I going to continue down this path of noticing things that are going on around me and believing that, or am I going to shift into this new identity of the person that I want to become? And that requires drastic changes in thought and belief systems inside yourself. And I have always had social anxiety, but I'm also like pretty, I would call myself like what they call an ambivert, where you're like introverted but extroverted as well. Like I can talk to people, no problem. It's just like getting up in front of people, and even going to stores sometimes would be a little bit like, I just feel this feeling of like unsafety. Is that a word? I don't even know. Unsafety. I feel unsafe in certain, just in the world, I guess you could say, just like this feeling of not feeling safe. And so that, I think, prevented me from doing certain things, but also just getting up in front of the class was like my worst nightmare. So this is almost that equivalent in a way of getting up in front of the class, except, you guys are watching me after the fact. So, but I have done a couple of lives before where I've been just fine. So I think it's more of just that feeling of feeling unsafe. And I did have someone comment, and I'm so proud of you for doing your presentation. Just feeling like my last video helped you to calm down. I'm so thankful for hearing that, and that it helped you. So glad. And I think we do have a fear of being seen. I think a lot of people have that. And so I will touch on these things eventually individually, but just remember that everything that I teach basically takes care of all of this. And so we just have to choose. Are we going to be self one or self two? And sometimes that requires deeper processing of thoughts than other people might need. But I've done a lot of self-work over the years, so I have a lot of, time in myself. But I think we never master ourselves fully until we're gone, but we work towards that on the daily. So just remember that everything that you're seeing around you, if you will just simply deny it, just say, yeah, I'm going to deny this, and I'm going to focus on this instead. It really does wonders for you once you train yourself. Now, you can't always do this overnight, because however old you are, that's how many years practice you have of being yourself. And we've got to get over the habit of being ourselves, because that's the old self. It's a habit we're in. We're just programmed that way. So we've got to get out of that habit of being ourselves and learn how to be a new self. And you get to design your new self however you want to design him or her. And that's what's so fun about this, because again, no one teaches us this. And I'm trying to put my own spin on things that I've learned. And it really is just like deciding that I'm no longer going to think these thoughts anymore. And we say that might be too simple, but I think we expect things to be hard, and they don't have to be. Things really can be simple. If you make them be, if you decide that things can be simple for you, they can be. And you just have to train yourself to believe yourself. Isn't that crazy? Like, train yourself to believe yourself. You don't have to believe anybody else, but you've got to train yourself to believe you, because you're all that really matters. It's only your opinion that matters. Whatever you believe is true is what lens you're going to look through, what filter you're going to look through in your reality. That's what you're seeing from. You're seeing from your thoughts and belief systems. And so when you change those, you see yourself differently and you see the world differently. You'll have signs and synchronicities pop up out of nowhere. Have fun with it. Look around you and say, okay, if this is a game, how do I want to play this game? How do I want to design myself? What would I imagine if I could imagine anything? What would I imagine right now? Because you're imagining all the time anyway. So we've got to use our imagination as a tool. It's a tool. It's like a hammer to a nail. It's like, we got to have a tool. So you've got to use your imagination with deliberate intention instead of the way you've always used it. I had another awesome subscriber say that they have trouble imagining anything good could happen. So we are practicing imagining bad things. Remember that. We're practicing imagining bad things. So now we've got to practice imagining good things. So I always start with, how do I want to feel? What would be a good feeling that I'd like to feel? What's something that's made me feel that way in the past? And then imagine that old memory, whatever it might be. Or think of something that makes you happy. Babies laughing, cats, I don't know. Cats, it's always so funny watching cats jump from one thing to another, and they're a kitten and they think they can jump really far, and then they jump, they fall down. So cute. I really like Damon Darling. He's really funny to me. I love Seinfeld. I love all comedians, really. Anything funny, it's going to make you laugh. Imagine that, because you're using your imagination. It doesn't have to be this big visualization that you have for yourself. It can simply be something that makes you feel 1% better than you're feeling right now. And that's the way to do this. It's like a gentle shift in your consciousness from one thing that's making you feel not so good to something else that's going to make you feel a lot better. And it's practice. It's deliberate direction of your thought, and use your imagination as a tool. Remember, your imagination is a tool. It's not just there for nothing. It's there to create your whole reality for you. And remember that anything you desire is already created. They say creation is finished. Creation is finished. So a good thing that I've been saying is, like, I don't hope anymore. And I don't pray for, please, please give me this. Why don't I have this? Begging, that type of thing. And hoping, oh, I hope this happens. I hope and pray this happens. That's not what I do. What I do is I have an intention that it's already happened. And I say, thank you that it's already happened. That's a prayer right there. Because it's you. It's like, it's you connected straight to God, straight to source. You are part of God. You are God. You are connected to that energy. So you just say thank you and live in thankfulness, live in gratitude, live in appreciation for everything. And when you're in that energy, you can't feel another energy. You can't think two thoughts at one time. So if you train the mind to think only good thoughts as much as possible, which to me is just saying thank you for everything around you. Look at everything with wonder and curiosity. I wonder why this is here. I wonder why I saw that. Every time I hear a bird chirp, I'll be like, okay, maybe they're calling me. Just what am I noticing? And I just look around and I have fun. Look around all the time. Anything anybody says to you, be curious. Be like, I wonder why that happened. They don't have to know you're doing this. You just do this inside your head. Live inside your imagination and have fun. Because you'll see, once you start to shift internally, things will shift outside of you with no work done. We don't have to work at this. This isn't hard. It's very simple. It's just shifting internally inside yourself. The only hard thing is to convince yourself that you're powerful. It's really it. There's nothing else to do. You have to convince yourself of what you're actually wanting. You have to convince yourself that you can actually have what you want. And then eventually, when you feel like you can have it, then you start saying, oh, wow, I already do have it. Thank you. And it's like a knowing that you have inside yourself. Once you train yourself, remember, this is training. This is not like an overnight thing. You could decide for it to be an overnight thing. That's how powerful we are. Or you could decide for it not to be an overnight thing. And that's how powerful you are too. The universe will support you in whatever you're believing, whatever you're thinking. You're always fully supported in whatever way you want to be supported. And so, but it starts with your thoughts, beliefs, expectations, assumptions. Whatever you assume is what is your truth. So that's what you're going to see in your life. That's the lens you're going to look through. And what if everything that you're thinking isn't even true? What if it's not? And what if some of the thoughts you've been thinking for a long time really aren't helping you and they're doing you a disservice? And maybe everything you've thought is just an illusion and maybe it's not real. And I guess today I also encourage you to think about, what are you fearing so much that if you let go of your old self, like what would happen if you let go of the old thoughts and the old you, what would happen? And I think a lot of it is like, we're just afraid of actually seeing who we truly are, or it's like a fear of the unknown. Like, who would I be without these dreadful thoughts? Think about that. Who would I be if I had joyful thoughts all the time? What if I could have joyful thoughts? What if I could have curious thoughts all the time? What if I could look at everything with wonder? What if I could imagine my life the way that I wanted it to be and it actually turned out that way? What would happen? I've been imagining my whole life, didn't know I was doing it, of course, but I have imagined things into existence so many times. It's unbelievable, unbelievable things. And I know it works. I didn't know I was doing that though. Now that I know that I was doing that, I could feel a feeling like I was doing something. I knew that there was a power because I could feel it when I was little. I remember feeling something, but it just kind of, I got skewed a little bit throughout the years. So, and I let my emotions take over me. And that's what I want us to learn is we've got to emotionally regulate ourselves as much as possible. And when you're having the most trouble in life, that's when life is saying to you, hey, this is when you focus. This is where you do the work. This is the time. And you do the work also when you're doing great. That's a great time to do the work too. And then you kind of prevent that spiral from happening like normal. And also saying, it's always been easy for me. It doesn't have to be hard anymore. What if it doesn't have to be hard anymore? And I promise you, pretty soon you're going to start saying these things in your mind, like, it's always been easy for me. I'm always fully supported. I always get what I want. Everything around me is for my benefit. What lessons am I learning from this? Wow, this is so much fun. This is awesome. I love this life. This life is so fun and interesting. You'll just start saying those things instead of the other stuff. Like, where's my money going to come from? Why is this person doing this to me? Oh my gosh, the traffic. Oh my gosh, my boss. Like the same things that we always think. And then there's the thoughts about ourselves. I'm unworthy. I'm not pretty enough. I'm not handsome enough. I'm too fat. I'm too skinny. I mean, it's just, I'm too tall. I'm too short. Like we're never enough. And so when are we going to decide, hey, I'm enough? So I give you that permission today. Decide you're enough today because you are. Here's a person telling you, I don't even know you, but I know you're enough, because if you weren't enough, you wouldn't even be here. There would be no need. You're here for a reason. So find that reason. But that real reason you're here is just to experience joy and just to experience life at its fullest level. And that's whenever I'm going to lead us into abundance and riches and wealth. I do want to talk about that in probably a series of videos. I want to teach a little bit out of the science of getting rich. And I've just been studying this book more than ever. And it really invites us to live life to the fullest. And in order to do that, we need to have all these great experiences. So ask yourself, what do I need to add into my life to experience more of this? It could be just while you're doing, chores at home, you just turn on some music a little louder than normal and maybe dance to it while you're cleaning. It could be, singing at the top of your lungs, driving to work. You probably already do these things, but just changing things up a little bit, going a different route to work, or sleeping on a different side of the bed, or, I don't know, I wash my face and then I brush my teeth. How about you brush your teeth first and then wash your face? Just change things up a little bit, because it'll create this new thought pattern in your mind a little bit. It's kind of weird how that happens when we change some habits, but it'll kind of change the way you're thinking. So, but yeah, use your imagination. Use it. It's there for a reason. And you're using it for self-deprecation. Why don't we use it for like thriving and for fun and for happiness creation? Look at it like, I'm using my imagination for happiness creation. What could I think about today that would make me feel really good? And just start thinking that. And remember, it creates a memory that you can go back to at any point that you want to. And your brain and body don't know the difference, whether it's true or false. They're just going to let you go there and think it. So just keep practicing. You guys got this. You guys are amazing. And please like and subscribe if you'd like to. If this helped you in any way, please share it with somebody who might need the information. And I will be back tomorrow. Thank you so much for watching. And you guys take care of yourselves. Remember, you are loved. And remember, what you appreciate, so appreciate yourself. And I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.